Reparations is not a nicety. It's not something nice to have for black folk. It is now an absolute necessity. If you do not get reparations soon, black folk, as I told you before, are through. Reparation is not a nicety, it's a necessity. What are the conditions? What are the conditions that precipitated black folk getting into this dilemma? And what black labor, white wealth did, it tracked 800 years of history in very systematic terms to show you every strategy, every technique, every law, every public custom, and every public policy that was used to enslave black folk around the world and to maldistribute almost 100% of all this nation's wealth, power, resource, privileges, businesses, and controls of all levels of government into the hands of the dominant white society. And what slavery and Jim Crow segregation did with black folk, it intentionally maldistributed all the resources away from black folk and created a real-life monopoly game. Black folk in America are playing in a real-life monopoly game that you're totally ill-prepared to play and win.
Peace, love, and reparations. Welcome to Black Star TV 2.0. You already know it's your boy Black Star. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Family, hit that like button and that share button so we can get this algorithm popping. So today, family, I want to talk about, this prison system. Mainly, I want to get into and break down modern day slavery. Something that came across me the other day, and I wanted to break this down with the family. I'm sorry that I can't share my screen, but I actually will share this link in the description so you can tap on the link to see this for yourself as we go over it, right? So again, peace, love, and reparations. So family, right, watch this, right? When we think of modern day slavery, we think of prison, right? That's the first thing we think of when we think of modern day slavery is prison. But according to the government, right, according to the US government, on their site, they actually break down, this is the United States Department of State, right? This is the United States Department of State. This website that I'm on is www.state.gov. What is modern day slavery? And this is an official website of the United States government. This is right on the website. So again, we know that slavery has never went anywhere, right? And I'm going to, we know that, hold on one second. There we go. 13th Amendment. So I actually want to read this to you guys because everybody know what the 13th Amendment is, right? Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for a crime wherefore the party shall be have been duly convicted shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So when it says neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for a crime, the word except tells us that slavery and involuntary servitude is actually still alive and well in the United States. Not no modern day slavery. We're talking about slavery as it was back then. See, a lot of people try to confuse slavery with, the beatings that were going on. And, they try to equate slavery with the beatings. But really, what slavery was, it was economically beneficial. And it was more economically beneficial than we were getting beat down on, right? And the real main reason for the beat downs was to keep us subservient so that we would do all the work in slave labor for free, any compensation for it, right? So again, if we wasn't fighting back, the hangings and the killings and the rapings and stuff like that, that wouldn't have happened. I'm not going to say the rapings, but I would say a lot of the killings and things wouldn't have happened and stop us from, rebelling and stuff like that. They had to implement some physical harm toward us, right? Toward our people to, slave them mentally as well as physically, right? So slavery's never went anywhere. And I'm going to break that down, right? So during slavery, we were growing crops like olives, grapes, sugar, cotton, tobacco, coffee, rice, like you name it. We were growing indigo, all type of things, right? We had skilled workers like masons, carpenters, distillers, cattlemen, drovers, nurses, streamses, you name it. We had people digging ditches, shoemakers, carriage drivers. You feel what I'm saying? Cooks, barrel makers, blacksmiths. We had so many. It was so many things that was going on during slavery that was economically beneficial. That's why I believe that's why the dominant society likes to push the narrative of um, us being beat all the time. See, they want to take out the economic part because then we will be asking, as we are now, to be compensated for that labor that was performed with no money, right? So all of this stuff that I just named, seamstress, I'm not going to say distillers, but shoemakers, knitters, diggers, growing the crops. All that's happening in prison. You got people making furniture, all type of stuff, right? Electricians, HVAC technicians. All of these people are being used in prison, right? And again, a lot of people gonna say, yeah, it's modern day because they're getting paid now. But within a few rare exceptions, regular prison jobs are still unpaid in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. And then it says incarcerated people assigned to work for state-owned business earn between 33 cents and $1.40 per hour on average. And that's an absolute lie. They always try to make it seem like the people in prison are earning hourly wages, but it's not. It's actually daily wages. I mean, of course, somebody can break that down in hourly wages, right? But it's really not $1.40 an hour. Because if you work in a kitchen in prison, at the end of the 30 days, you get paid once a month. You get paid on the 15th, right? I believe it's the 15th or the 1st, right? You get paid. Working in the kitchen all month, you're only going to get about 28 to 30 bucks. That's not, and you're working 4 to 5 hours a day. That's not 33 cents an hour or $1.41 per hour. So you feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, slavery, again, because we have the Corporate Corrections of America, or Core Civic as they're now called now, they are on the you can go to Robinhood and pull them up. Pull up Core Civic. They're grossing about $5 billion a year. This is the for-profit prisons, right? So again, prisons, just like slavery, is all economically beneficial. The only thing that's not going on, like what was going on during slavery, is a lot of people being beat into submission. That goes on, but not to the extent of how it was going on during slavery. So really, truly, slavery is still in existence right now in the United States. Regular slavery, like it was before 1865. The same slavery is going on right now in the United States. And I'm going to prove it through, now here we're going to get to the good part. We're going to prove it through the United States Department of State website, right? And it says, what is modern day slavery? Office to monitor and combat trafficking in persons. See, now learn more. Because when they breaking down modern day slavery, the United States government never, ever, ever, ever mentions jail. They never mention incarcerated people. They never mention the judicial system whatsoever. When they're talking about what is modern day slavery, according to the United States government's website, they saying that modern day slavery is sex trafficking, child sex trafficking, forced labor, bond labor or debt bondage, domestic servitude, forced child labor, and unlawful recruitment and use of child soldiers. Now, I know that y'all heard forced labor and bonded labor or debt bondage. And you would say, oh, that has to do with the prisons. But when we click on it, right, when we click on forced labor, it literally reads forced labor, sometimes also referred to as labor trafficking, encompasses the range of activities recruiting, harboring, transporting, providing, and obtaining involved when a person uses force or physical threats, psychological coercion, abuse of the legal process, deception, or other coercive means to compel someone to work. Once a person's labor is exploited by such means, the person's prior consent to work for an employer is legally irrelevant. The employer is a trafficker and the employee a trafficking victim. Migrants are particularly vulnerable to this form of human trafficking. See, even when they talked about abusing of the legal process, deception, and all of that, right? They're still talking about human trafficking as a way of modern day slavery. See, so even when they're talking about forced labor, they're still not talking about the prison system. Watch. Now we go into bonded labor or debt bondage. Again, one form of coercion used by traffickers in both sex trafficking and forced labor is the imposition, right, of a bond or debt. Some workers inherit debt. For example, in South Asia, it is estimated that there are millions of trafficking victims working to pay off their ancestors' debt. Others fall victim to traffickers or recruiters who unlawfully exploit an initial debt assumed wittingly or unwittingly as a term of employment. Traffickers, labor agencies, recruiters, and employers in both the country origin and the designation of the country can contribute to debt bondage by charging workers recruitment fees. I'm not even going to keep reading, right? But it keeps going. But again, labor, forced labor, and bonded labor or debt bondage, according to the United States government, has nothing to do with prison labor. Because prison labor isn't modern day slavery. It's just regular slavery, like the Constitution says. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime. The party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So the word except as a punishment for a crime means that slavery never went anywhere. And again, involuntary servitude is paying off a debt. When you're in prison, you're not paying off a debt. A lot of people like to use that involuntary servitude like that's what's happening in prisons now. No, you're forced to work according to the laws of the federal laws that Bill Clinton passed in 1994. Right? I remember going to orientation in Columbia River in Portland, Oregon prison, and in orientation they was going over the part of having to work. And the lady actually went over the law when they passed it in 1994, where you had to work, and if you didn't work, you would go to lockup, right? So family, listen, peep game, watch this. I just wound up getting a phone call that kind of threw me off. But watch this, family. The thing is, right? That shit threw me all the way off just now. I kind of forgot where I was, but they tried that whole involuntary servitude part as far as making it seem as though that is the modern day slavery. Is, you know, you go to prison, you work, right? And that's the involuntary servitude. You're like working off your debt, but that isn't part of your deal when you get sentenced. When you get sentenced, you're not, the judge doesn't say, yo, now you have to work. You're like forced to work. They don't say any of that. None of that is in your plea agreement. None of that is anywhere, right? So now what it really boils down to is we just have straight up slavery. We have just straight up slavery. And I'm tired of hearing people speak on, right? I'm tired of hearing people speak on modern day slavery as though that's what the prison system is. And the prison system is not modern day slavery whatsoever, according to the United States Department of State. right? The Department of State, United States of America, you have it to where modern day slavery is absolutely contributable to sex trafficking, child trafficking, forced labor, bonded labor or debt bondage, domestic servitude, forced child labor or unlawful recruitment, and use of child soldiers. That's what I'm saying. This modern day slavery thing has us confused, right? Has us confused. And this is why, again, family, and just based on what happened in Alabama the other day, and we know that, you know, a lot of legal stuff is going to come out of that, right? A lot of charges is going to come out of that. And again, anybody who's from Alabama, get in touch with our sister Teslin Figaro, right? You can catch her on Instagram, Facebook. I'm pretty sure she has a Facebook, Twitter, and she has legal counsel, or she knows somebody that's willing to do legal counsel for free for anybody that was involved in the Alabama brawl, in the Riverfront brawl in Alabama. So make sure y'all get with her. But again, family, this is why we need our own courts, because we know that those people were wrong, and we know that our people are going to get the shit end of the stick when it comes down to going inside that courtroom. So what we need is reparations, right? Of course we want reparations, but we need a Freedmen's Bureau on a federal level. We need a reparations task force on a federal level. You feel me? And that task force or the Freedmen's Bureau can then create, and we can get out of the Freedmen's Bureau what the Native Americans got through the Department of Interior, which is the tribal courts and everything else, the tribal government, where we govern ourselves, and we, you know, are the police, you know, the tribal police, the tribal courts, and everything else, so that we can get away from these people's system. Because at the end of the day, again, family, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This is all coercion, right? This is all not coercion. I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. This is all a finesse, for real. Coercion, finesse, same thing to an extent, right? This is all a finesse. They literally sit here and make these you know, these laws, these constitutions. Like, I feel like the Constitution needs to be changed. Even if they were talking about modern day slavery in the way that we look at it, right? Because anytime you hear the word modern day slavery, the first thought that comes to your mind is actually prison, but it's not. But it's actually not, right? Make sure y'all hit that like button. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that share button, family. Because we getting busy today. Listen, we have to get out of that. And I think that needs to be the biggest push. We are on code as a people. And let me play something for y'all, for anybody who didn't watch my last video about when I did with the brawl. But I'm going to do a whole video strictly on this video very soon. But I want y'all to hear this real quick. And I want y'all to see how on code we are now.
Listen, everybody. Hey, y'all up there, pay attention. Here's what happens. Listen. Obama don't got the people no more. And family, we are on code. We are on code like there is no other, right? So we have to use this energy and use it wisely. So as we are voting, when they asking what does the Black community want, we want the Freedmen's Bureau to address all freedmen affairs, foundational Black American and freedmen affairs. We need that on a federal level. And this is why they're trying to push a lot of state
task force, reparations task force. That's why they trying to push a lot of those, because at the end of the day, we really need it to be on a federal level. But I'm gonna let you guys go because I gotta start getting ready to get my black ass up out of here. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, family. I appreciate all the love and support from the family. I've been very busy. I got a lot going on. I'm gonna try to at least do a video once a week. I'm gonna try, if I can get more than that in, I'm gonna get more than that in. But at this time, family, I am very, very busy, and I appreciate all the love and support and all the people who constantly support the channel, man. Peace, love, and reparations. We up out of here. Stay on cool, family. Stay